Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday game week edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Parrish, that's not at all what I wanted. Parrish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parrish. Uh, just do that. Okay, also Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, and Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss that you've heard so much about. If you're interested in learning more, you can do the whole thing over telemed at Unique Physique, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country. And for all of August, count down the days, by the way, 50% off your first month at Unique Physique. And if you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. All right, y'all. Game week, LSU, USC. Excited about this. Our game week schedule comes into effect now. So Brian Kelly has his press conference today. His weekly press conferences today at noon. So we'll look forward to hearing Brian Kelly preview the USC game. Our weekly guests start to fall. Our football guests fall into place now. So we are into game week, which is a lot of fun. So we'll be wheels up Thursday night to Las Vegas. Shows Friday in Vegas, of course. Game Sunday, and we'll see if the Tigers can buck this trend of losing their openers 4 consecutive years and get the season off to a good start. Certainly hopeful for that. Okay, Saints lose their preseason finale at home against the Titans. True. Sorry. So Saints lose the regular season finale 30-27. Jay Kaner with an opportunity to be a hero. Couldn't get it done as the Saints fall. Got down early. Darn near had the play of the preseason. They had a 106-yard missed field goal return, not for a touchdown. Samson Nakua almost housed it and ran out of gas somewhere around the 2-3 yard line, whatever it was. But not so much concerned that the Saints lost the game as we talk about the result of the preseason isn't as significant as what you're looking for. I thought Spencer Rattler was really good. He was 7 of 13, but he was victimized by drops. So was Jay Kaner, quite honestly, was 8 of 17. Spencer Rattler's rating of 106, Hayner's rating of 62. Rattler threw a beautiful touchdown pass in the ball game. A total NFL throw. Rattler looked better, period. Rattler looked better yesterday. Well, in the first game, Rattler was better. Second game, Hayner was better. Third game, Rattler was better. So it's not to say that if they had a fourth game that Hayner wouldn't be better, but what are you looking for? I think upside lies with Rattler, and he's probably your guy as your number 2. So, all right, let's say some good morning, y'all. Smash the like button if you're there on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that good stuff. We appreciate y'all. Let's say some good mornings here. Brian, good morning from Corona, Michigan. There you go. There you go. Tiger Diver, good morning. Getting back from Roton. Have you given your prediction for the football season? I have not. I was going to save it for this week. Obviously, Terrio and I will do our picks on Friday. So I'll give you my game pick on Friday. I'll tell you this. The result of the USC game determines where I fall on the 10-2, 9-3. I'm not going below 9 for all the reasons we've talked about. I think the defense, I've seen enough from the defense to believe they're going to play better. Tigers were undefeated at home last year. You do get Ole Miss and Bama at home this year. I think those are your 2 toughest games. I worry about the game at College Station. I worry about the game at Gainesville. You can laugh about that, but I think Florida is a more talented team than they were a year ago. I just think everyone looks at the schedule and goes, and you're not wrong to do that. But a road game in Gainesville the week after you play Bama is a tough spot. I think Oklahoma could be very good this year. We'll see how they are at the end of the year. Jackson Arnold takes over at quarterback. I think it's one of those things where he probably continues to progress and get better as the season goes along. So, how you do against USC, I think, determines whether or not you're 9-3 or 10-2. Trivia, good morning. Gorilla, good morning. Jacob Thompson, morning from Gate City, Vass. Miss Morning Scone yesterday. Did Jonah Williams commit to LSU or Texas? Texas. Yeah, pick Texas, and it's a bummer, but we'll continue to watch it. I don't think LSU is going to stop recruiting him, and I'm also going to be fascinated to see what happens with the baseball draft this summer. Randall, good morning. Routed threw a perfect ball in the TD pass. He did. It was a beautiful throw. Beyond the Crown, good morning. Melody, good morning. Hope you rock is better today. Thank you, Melody. Better today, definitely. The weekend was really challenging. And we went and kind of had an emergency dental procedure yesterday, and much better today. Needed to be done. Much better today. Thank you for asking. Strong side, good morning. Officially game week, USC hate week. Let's go. Tony Thomas, good morning from Spring, Texas. Michael Thacker, morning. Any specific talking points you're listening for during BK's press conference? Has the depth chart been released? So normally they'll put the depth chart in game notes. So forever and ever and ever, they always used to print off game notes. And it was a packet. I mean, it was, 30 pages. And when you come for the press conference, they give you, it was front and back, like 10-point font, maybe 8-point font. Anyway. When you came for the Monday press conference, they gave you the game notes, LSU's game notes, USC's game notes. And in the game notes is usually where they have the depth chart. Well, now they email game notes. I guess they're saving paper. But we should get that today to see what they have for a depth chart. As far as what I'm listening for Brian Kelly, would certainly like an update on the injuries that he talked about last week. Said he expected everybody to be good for USC. So, I mean, remember, there were 4 starters we were talking about there. I mean, it was Stage Ryan and Miles Frazier, who's at a boot, West Weeks, and Chris Hilton. I mean, those are 4 significant players for you that were all dealing with lower body injuries. And, you need them to be able to get out there and run around and make plays for you. So that's very interesting to me. Curious if he names the number 2 quarterback. We'll see what the depth chart looks like. My guess is it'll be Ricky Collins, but we'll see. Yeah. About it. Just ready to see him go play a game. Brett, let's go. Game week, it's better than Christmas. Eric, for an offense that's going to rack up 3 and outs like the Saints, watching Headley slowly bleed away hidden yardage is going to be brutal. So Lou Headley's the punter, for those who don't know, of the Saints. I agree. It's so interesting because last year Headley was good in the preseason, and that let them be confident enough to do away with Blake Gillikin. And I think that's just another miss by this coaching staff and organization. So let's see. Trivia Carter, good morning. Rat looked better. He did. He looked better. Jason Horn, good morning. Bye-bye, Jake, if you ask me. Oh, they're not getting rid of him. No, they're going to keep them all. They're keeping all 3 because they're not going to run the risk of cutting him and trying to get him through waivers to sign him to the practice squad because someone's going to sign him. So that's what happened with Ian Book a few years back. They cut him and thought they could sign him to the practice squad, and the Eagles scooped him up. So I think Hainer and Rattler are both going to make the team, by the way. So that means you're going to be 1 less roster spot somewhere else. Do you keep 1 less offensive lineman? Do you keep 1 less defensive back? 1 less receiver? We'll see. Gorilla. Of course, the game falls on my first year anniversary. Tigers always got to get in between me and my lady. The loss to FSU has started my wedding weekend. How about T-Bob calling Callie soft? Well, Gorilla, I'm going to be very honest with you. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. You're the one who decided to get married on a game weekend. So that's going to happen for the rest of your life. That's why I always talk to people about fall weddings, man. Look, you can do it, but understand what you're doing. It's going to affect you not just on that game. People, I got married on an open date. Inevitably, your anniversary will fall on a game that whatever. So if you don't care, that's fine. But if you care, that's on you. I got no sympathy for you, dog. Brian Wynn, good morning. Weston Weaver, Brad David, good morning. Does Erica dread football season since you work longer hours? You'd have to ask her. I don't think she dreads it. I think Erica, Do you dread football season because I work longer hours? She said no. Charlie Cavell, what's up, man? Shelby, game week, let's go. Joshua, good morning. Brent, good morning. Milton, morning, Matt. Was in the Dome yesterday. The renovation's really cool. Also, this O-lineman Hergel was a beast. At least he was yesterday. Hadn't heard his name. Well, you should listen to AFR because we interviewed him as an undrafted free agent. So great story. He so Kyle Hergel Kyle Hergel bounced around. So he was a 4-year starter between North Dakota and Texas State. So he went to North Dakota. That's the Sioux, not the Bison, not North Dakota State. He went to North Dakota and then went to Texas State. He was all Sun Belt third team, went into the portal and went to Minnesota, where he spent last year and was obviously a really good player at I'm sorry. I said Minnesota. Boston College. I'm sorry, Boston College. But the cool thing is too, he's the guy. I'm almost positive here. I'll drop this. I'm going to drop this in. Here's the interview. I just found it on YouTube. I searched his name and it was like the interview we did with him is the first thing that came up. Here, I'm gonna drop. If you're interested, I'm gonna drop this interview with Kyle Hergel in the chat. Got to carry the American flag out onto the field during the red bandana game. If you're not familiar, there was a. I think a lot of people probably know the red bandana game by now, but so there was Wells Crowther was his name. I want to make sure I got the name right. It was Wells Crowther. Excuse me, I said Crowther. Wells Crowther. So Wells Crowther was a BC grad. I think was a lacrosse player at BC, and he was known for wearing a red bandana. Anyway, he was a hero of 9/11. He escorted a lot of people to safety and died in the tower when it fell. And so Boston College now does a red bandana game in honor of Wells Crowther. Well, Kyle Hergel for that game got to run out of the tunnel with the American flag for Boston College that game. Anyway, cool. There's video of it on Twitter and all. Anyway, it was a cool convo. We got to talk to Kyle Hergel back after the draft when he signed with the Saints as a UDFA, and I just posted the link to the interview in the chat if you're interested in checking that out. So good luck to him, man. Okay, baby. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel there on YouTube, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that stuff. Michael, good morning. Dale, good morning. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Brian Wynn, great win for the Florida team in the Little League World Series. Heartbreaking loss, Chinese Taipei. Didn't see it, but congrats to all the youngsters. Pretty cool life experience for all of them to have. Jordan, from what I saw yesterday, Rattler should be QB2. Yeah, man. I think here's what I would say. If you believe like I do that, or didn't say like I do, all throughout camp, the okay. So all throughout camp, every report we've gotten from the two quarterbacks is that they're even. Someone have a good day, someone have a bad day. The next day would be bad, good. They both, you make a throw, you make a throw. They were dead even, Rattler and Haener. And in the first preseason game, Rattler was better. Of course, scored a touchdown on his first drive, led the game-winning drive on the field goal. The second game, Rattler was not very good. And then yesterday, kind of flipped. Rattler was good. Haener wasn't as good. So if everything was 50-50 all the way until yesterday, and yesterday was the deciding factor, and something has to be the deciding factor, well, Spencer Rattler was better yesterday. So, yeah, I think Rattler should be the QB2, but we'll see what they do. But I think they're going to keep them both. Mark Bacon, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Brian Williams, Jamie Leday, Milton, best pass of the preseason was Rattler to St. Brown. I mean, that was a listen. I happen to be listening to um up to the halftime report on the Saints radio network on Eagle 98.1. And Bobby Aber was talking about, he's like, that's an NFL throw. That's a throw that every quarterback in the NFL has to be able to make if you're going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. So I agree. It was beautiful. Rocky, good morning. Pastor Brandon, good morning. How do you feel the Saints O-line did, depending improve? Even Dennis Allen said yesterday after the game that there was improvement, that he was better. And I think, you have to take the bad with the good, or the good with the bad, and acknowledge when he did better. Look, I think we should all be pulling for Trevor Penning. I mean, you still invested a first round pick in him. You want him to be able to contribute in some way. And yesterday was better. David Tolson, Vegas week. Rex, Zandel, morning Matt from South Korea business trip. Okay, still won't miss your show. Thank you so much, man. That's freaking awesome. So what time is it in South Korea? So let's see, you're west, or I guess far east. Let's see. It's 9:32 p.m. in South Korea. Big shout out, man. Thank you so much for watching. That's awesome. Let's see. Rex, good morning. Oh, sorry. That was one I just did. Justin, yo, Matt, good morning. What will the backside of the new scoreboard look like where it used to say LSU? Good question. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a picture of it today when I go for the press conference, and I'll post it. I don't know. I would assume it would say the national championship years, just like it has in the past. It seems like a pretty good thing to broadcast. All right. Taylor, good morning. And by the way, there's a lot of people also who have looked at the new video board and have said, like, and the cynical part of that is to say, like, well, they're going to cover it up with ads. I think the speakers are not going to be covered up with ads. I could be wrong. I mean, I definitely could be wrong. I'll ask today, but it looks like they've got the tiger head logo on the speakers. Now, on the video board, I'm certain there's going to be ads, part of the component of the video board, but I don't know that there's going to be like permanent affixed ads on that board. I think it's probably going to be more like the ribbon board, where ads circulate and then you have like scores and stats and all that stuff. So I think that's probably what it's going to be, but we'll find out. Taylor Hudson, good morning. Quentin Breakbill, good morning. Can't wait for Sunday night. More importantly, the first whiskey and wine of the season. There were people asking me yesterday on Twitter, man, is whiskey and wine coming back? Yes. Why would whiskey and wine not be coming back? It's one of the most inexplicably insanely popular things we do. Of course we would. Carter, good morning from the Air Force. All right, Carter, thank you for your service, man. Hope all is going great today. Kelly Gross, good morning. LSU game week, go Tigers. Yes, indeed. Pat, good morning. Sorry to sound like a negative ninny. When the Saints go 1-7, Allen's still on staff and Rattler gets traded, I think I'm 100% officially done after 45 years done. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Pat. I don't know. They may start 1-7, although I don't think they're going to start 1-7. They got to get the opener, though. I think 2-5 is possible to start. 3-4 is there, because we actually did this, Pat. There were betting odds of what the record would be through so many weeks, and the highest percent odds was that the Saints should be 3-4 through 7 weeks, which keeps you in the mix of things. But I tend to agree. They missed the playoffs again this year. I think Dennis Allen's gone. They're not going to trade Spencer Rattler. That there's no. I mean, you have a talented quarterback with a lot of upside on a rookie deal as a 5th round pick. I mean, they're not trading him. But is he a potential franchise quarterback? Don't know, but we'll see. That's something to look forward to potentially. Steve Menard, good morning. Dane, what up, my dude? Still waiting on my USC t-shirt. When did you order it, Dane? So what I love it. As a guy that was a senior at LSU in 2003, this is the shirt. I love it. So that's the one that I'm debating. I'm pretty much decided I'm going to wear it for Whiskey and Wine, regardless, win or lose, because either way it plays. But I'll grab the link for that. That's what Dane's talking about. Here, I'll drop it in the comments for those that want it. But the problem is what Dane was saying. Like, I think even if you order today, you're not going to have it by Sunday. And the reason is, so I pinned the link. It's 929 Misfits, like the numerals, 929 Misfits, MISFITS. And so it's the Guarantee merch store. It's got our radio station merch and all that stuff. And then other fun one-off stuff like this. And it was kind of intentional. Like, you can do, like, we could have done like 2 to 3 business day shipping. Party like it's 2003. I love it. Anyway. But the price goes up by like $10, and we didn't want to sell $35 t-shirts. I guess we could, but I mean, I guess that's just part of the feedback. We'll wait and see what we get. But that's why I think it's like 7 to 10 business days instead of like 2 to 3 business days, because we went with the cheaper route so people weren't spending $35 on a t-shirt, and maybe that's the wrong decision. We'll see what feedback we get. So I hope you get it for the game, man. Chris, good morning. Rocky, after listening to DA yesterday, I'm not sure if Kendra Miller makes the team. I agree with you, Rocky, especially with the way Cabote played yesterday. So Cabote's the kid from ULL, and I scored 2 touchdowns yesterday. Was really good. I mean, I thought 26. Y'all realize, man, for me, so much of it in the preseason is just jersey numbers. I'm very sympathetic toward coaches who James Robinson. I think James Robinson has looked really good in the preseason as well. Mims has looked. I mean, all 3 of those guys have looked really good. So I agree, man. Like, I get it. You spent a draft pick on Kendra Miller, a 3rd round pick, and that stings if you get nothing out of him. But you got better players. I mean, what does Mike D always say? The best ability is availability. Did E-Rock Dead Delicious come from a lost battle? No trivia. They did not. It did not come from a lost battle. Brad, how do you think Nick did on game day? I think he did great. I've always enjoyed his commentary whenever he would, when Alabama wouldn't be in the championship game and he would be on, for like the playoff or whatever. I think he's got great perspective. And when he's no longer coaching and he can actually give real opinions, they carry a ton of weight. I thought he was great. I think it's an awesome addition. Juan, good morning. Did you hear Oasis is getting back together? I did not hear Oasis is getting back together. Eric will be so excited. Cliff, good morning. Christian, when you can have great Jake Crane on the show again. Here's the problem, dude. By the way, Christian, I just, without even seeing that, I told you the games I'm worried about are at A&M, at Florida. A&M is the second of a back-to-back. I think that's a sneaky tough spot. LSU hasn't won there since 2018. So really, since LSU hadn't won there since 16, because they lost the 7 overtime game in 18, lost there again in the COVID year in 20, and then lost there 2 years ago when they'd won the West and were going to Atlanta and went there and got tripped up by a bad A&M team. So that's second of a back-to-back. Tough spot, tough place to play. And then the Florida game is the week after. But you can play Bama, then go to the Swamp. I mean, yeah, those are tough spots. Those are ones I worry about. Like, I think LSU plays sky high for Ole Miss and Bama and wins those games at home. I'm worried about the other tripwire spots on the schedule. And about Jake. So Jake moved from mornings to afternoons. So he and I are on at the same time now. I could record an interview with him, but we couldn't have him on live now because we're on at the same time. Mark, Spencer Rattler, new backup for the Saints. I think so, Mark. Trevor Penning improving. Frankie, good morning. Milton, you got it, man. Erock's better. Thank you for asking trivia. Like literally Friday and Saturday were brutal. Just terribly, terribly brutal. But I mean, a massive shout out to Dr. Steven Shannon, who's been my dentist since, I mean, I was asking him yesterday. He took over that practice in 2002. So 22 years he's been my dentist. And he's an awesome dentist, but he's also just an awesome man, like an awesome human. On his Sunday, met us there because Erica had like an emergent situation. So if you find yourself in need of a dentist, I could not recommend Dr. Steven Shannon any more highly. So big shout out. But yeah, so she's doing, dramatic. Just the fact that you just saw her walk by and I talked to her and she's up and talking and moving. Yes. An immense improvement. Like 1,000-fold improvement. Hey, Abner, good morning. Dad, good morning. Mark, what do you think of the Georgia Tech upset of FSU? They control the line of scrimmage, man. I'm gonna tell you something. You want a ton. It's 7:42. You want a ton of reason for optimism around LSU, the offensive line. Look at what Georgia Tech just did to Florida State. When you can control the line of scrimmage, you can control the game. Michigan did the same thing last year. That's why I'm skeptical about JJ McCarthy. I don't think he's great. I think he was a game manager of a team that was better on both sides of the line of scrimmage than anybody they played. You win the line of scrimmage, you win games, and I think LSU's offensive line will help them do that. Spread went down by 4. There must be a lot of people betting USC. Talked about it last week, Brian. Brian, I feel like you asked me that last week too. That happened last Wednesday. Yeah, so a bunch of money came in last Wednesday on USC. It went from 6.5 to 4, and it's hover around 4.5 right now. James, good morning. Chad, good morning. Figured out that your brother Brian is director of faith at Cathedral Carmel in Lafayette. I have a pre-K 4 and 7th grader there. Great guy, asset to the school and kids. Thanks for saying that, Chad. That's awesome. I know they love being in Lafayette. So Brian's, my brother Brian, his wife Kayla is from Lafayette. Her family's there. So they have 4 kids and it bounced around. They were both in education in Baton Rouge. Brian took a job in New Orleans. They didn't love being there. So after 1 year, they ended up moving to Lafayette. So he's at Cathedral Carmel now. And I think he really loves the community there, and they love Lafayette. So yeah, thank you for saying that, man. I know that they love being in Lafayette. The kids love Lafayette. It's been a really, really good move for them. David, 7 a.m. In Korean it was 9:30 p.m. Christian, good morning. Roderick, 31-21. I would take that all day long. You give me 31-21, I'd take that in a heartbeat. Especially if LSU holds them to 21 points, which I don't think is happening. Garrett Douglas, Old South End Zone had championship years. North was just LSU. Got it. Stat Dub, how long does the radio stay on in the QB's helmet in the NCAA? Oh, got it. So they shut it off with 15 seconds left on the play clock, I believe, is the rule. Let me check that. It's either 12 or 15. I think I'm almost positive it's 15. They shut the comm off 15 seconds with 15 seconds on the play clock. Travis, good morning, Matt. What time is the press conference? Noon. So the broadcast on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge will begin at 11:30. So it's Chris Blair. No, I'm sorry, 11:45. So Chris Blair and Gordy Rush will be on from like 11:45 to noon, and then BK at noon. So, and Charles Handegriff and Jimmy Ott start at 10 o'clock today. So on press conference days, they start early because the noon hour is mostly eaten up there by Brian Kelly. Is Kendra Miller bigger bust than Trevor Penning? Mark, no, just because you used a first round pick on Penning, and that's the disparity. I mean, you expect a first round pick to be a starting player for you. A third round pick, while you expect them to be contributors and play, like, you miss sometimes on threes. All right, y'all. Look at that. David, when I was stationed in Korea, it was weird watching Monday Night Football on a Tuesday morning. I bet that would be weird. Just because your body's, you're programmed a certain way. Ron, good morning, man. Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas this week, man. Hope you and the fam are doing well. Oh, it's 7:46. I got to go. Brant, morning Scone, LSU by 10. The line wears down USC going into the fourth. I hope so, man. The thing that I think most of us are not considering is Lincoln Riley as an offensive play caller. I mean, that team averaged, I get they had Caleb Williams. They averaged 41 points a game last year. Everywhere Lincoln Riley has been, they score. They score points. So, Dane, come on, man. Dane, I love you, bro. I do. Do you honestly think like you're breaking news to me about Dylan Cruz getting called up? Dane, I'm the one who wrote the newser for that at noon on Friday for LouisianaSports.net. And then we talked about it on AFR Friday. Do you honestly think 72 hours, Dane, do you honestly think, as long as you've known me, do you honestly think 72 hours would pass and I wouldn't know that the greatest player in LSU baseball history would get called up to the bigs, be making his debut against the Yankees, and I wouldn't know that? Come on, Dane. Dog. You can make now we got to wrap up the show. You can make me end on that note. On a game week, Dane. All right, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Shout out to Brock, Parrish, Unique Physique, Restore Motions. Links to all of our sponsors in the description. We're tagged on Facebook as well. Thank y'all so much for being there. YouTube, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Here he comes. Here he comes. Dane. Dane. I'm sorry. This is a declarative statement. Matt, Dylan Cruz got called up to the bigs and making his debut against the Yankees. That is like you were trying to tell me as if I wouldn't already know. You could phrase it as a question. Matt, how do you think Dylan Cruz will do in his debut against the Yankees? That's different than, Matt, Dylan Cruz got called up to the bigs, making his debut against the Yankees tonight. I know that. You think I don't know that? You made a statement of fact as if I didn't know the statement of fact. And for that, Dane, you have to buy me a beer at Whiskey and Wine for the Nichols game a week from Saturday. They're getting on you, Dane. Okay, I was reminding the viewers. I love you, Dane. All right. Hey, Dane, I'll see you a week from Saturday. You owe me a beer or a whiskey. All right. Y'all have a great one. Locked on LSU is already live. AFR 3. We'll see you.